Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Doing Rope, a manufacturer of the waste lithium battery recycling equipment. Well, today we're gonna to share how to safely dispose this waste lithium battery by using the physical equipment. The lithium battery that have different type and they have different products. So today we're gonna to share our technique and the detailed data of this equipment. If you want to know more information or want to get the quotation, you can tell our sales manager. Yeah, okay, and thank you for watching today. We are doing rope. This is today's topic, the lithium battery. By using this photo, we will show you the raw material, the products we can get, and the detailed technique, the certificate that our equipment have. Well, during this live show, if you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section. We are doing rope, a manufacturer of the waste lithium battery with solar panels recycling equipment. They are all use the physical production to process this kind of electric waste, and we can get different products like the copper, aluminium, glass, plastic after production. Okay, if you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section. And now we're going to share the lithium battery. The first thing is the raw material that we can process. That there are different kinds of plastic, different kinds of the lithium battery. Just we can process that for different raw materials. They include the NMC and LFP lithium battery. These are two different kinds of the lithium battery, and they are just use the positive material as the main base of the naming. And the most commonly of the raw material are lithium cobaltate and lithium magnate and lithium iron phosphate and other just mixture materials. And for different type or different like the classification of the physical certificate, this characteristic. And we have include the plastic shell lithium battery, soft lithium battery, lithium shell, or aluminium shell, or like in this picture shows the mobile, the power lithium battery from the car, or different type and different applications. And also the positive of lithium battery, negative lithium battery we can also use. And then the final products we can get. Hello sir, madam, if you have any questions. We are the manufacturer of the waste lithium battery recycling equipment. And just by this processing, we can process the lithium battery to the final products, the copper, aluminium, iron, and the black powder. So for the processing, we can get more than 10 or 15% of the copper and 10 or 15% of the the aluminium. And also we have 3 to 5% of the iron and also the graphite, and the phosphoric acid. That's the black powder. This is our mixed it. And here is the working process that our equipment have. Can you see this word clearly? Or if you want to know more information, you can send your information, your contact ways to us. Our sales manager will contact with you immediately and give you this information. Oh, is there something wrong about the website, network? Or can you see this video or hear the voice? Here is a detailed technique that we can process this scrapped lithium battery to the like the copper, aluminium, and the black powder. We have the positive material and negative material and the electrolyte and diaphragm just after processing and just include in this lithium battery. And the first one we need to have is the starting step. This is the pre-process. This is to put the scrap lithium battery into the concentration of 8 to 15% sodium chloride and solution to soak for 2 days or 3 days, and so that the positive and the negative terminals of the lithium battery will be just short circuit, and we can just have this safety processing later. And you can choose the natural drying or choose the equipment, the drying machine to dry your raw materials. And like if you choose the natural drying, you need the soaking pole, and just during this discharging, you need this pole or the barrel, like to put the salt, water, the industrial salt or the water inside. You need to have this processing, just the payment. And like if you need to more the capacity, if you are just more than 500 kilogram each hour, so we suggest you to have this combination furnace, or we call drying machine, to dry our material in this step. Or if you don't need, or your raw materials just don't have many to process each hour, so you can just dry them naturally. And then after discharging, our raw material will go into the double shaft shredder. In this step, here in the double shaft shredder, to shred them to 3 to 5 centimeter, and then it will come into the combination furnace to dry them. The temperature is almost 100 to 200 degrees. And then, here shows us the different purification system. Because if you process the drying machine, we need to get the purification system to just stop this smoke. So they have the spraying machine system, the active carbon system, and UV photooxygen catalytic system to purify different, like the sodium dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, or the dust inside the smoke. And then we will get to the separation system. The first one is the first crusher here. The first crusher is kind of the impact crusher by the high-speed rotation of the hammer blade in the crushing chamber, so as to make the raw material to be crushed. And the first one is to crush the raw material to from 3 to 5 centimeter to 10 millimeter or 1 centimeter. And the bleeds the screen inside the double shaft shredder are spare parts, so need to change. And then it comes to the first rotary screen. The crushed material from the primary crusher is sent through the air transportation system as a sealed transportation system to the fully sealed rotary screen for screening. And just throw the 120 mesh of the screen surface rolling rotary screen so as to qualify the raw material like the battery powder, or we call it the black powder. It will be discharged through the screen holes. And the black powder in this step, the recovery rate is nearly 60 to 70%. This is the first separation to separate the black powder. The length is 6 meters. And then this is the magnetic separator to separate the iron. And then it comes to the liner vibrating screen. The liner vibrating screen uses the vibration for the screening. And in this step is to rotate this like the black powder. This step is to separate the diaphragm inside, or it is the plastic. So the liner vibrating screen, it will have 2 layers in this step. The one is 2 millimeter, and the second is the 100 mesh. And they have 3 layers. The top layers of the screen is the diaphragm. It will equipped it with pipes and fans, the rain removal system to remove the plastic diaphragm. And the middle layer is the copper, aluminium, and black powder. And the bottom layer is also the black powder. So in this step, the recovery rate of the diaphragm is about 98%. And then it comes to the second hammer crusher. It is a kind of impact crusher, also the same as the first crusher, to crush the raw material to 6 millimeter. And then it comes to the second rotary screen. And the material then will just collect more black powder, and the recovery rate is 95%. This is the second stage. The length is not different. This is 4 meters long and has 140 mesh of the screen. In the first one, it is 120 mesh. So at this point, it will collect 10% of the black powder. Then this is the third crushing that we call the grinder. And the grinder will grind the raw material, mostly the copper and aluminium, at the granular shape, the grinding to the grind raw material to finer particles. Then by the grinding, the grinder is connected with the ID vibrating screen. Here, the ID vibrating screen, the screen is equipped with the 50 mesh screen in the upper layer and the 120 mesh in the lower layer. So the small amount of the black powder comes out of the lower layer of the rotary screen sheath, and the middle layer sheath is the copper aluminium mixture. It will into the next level for separation. So the ID vibrating screen is a high precision screen that have low noise, high efficiency, fully cold structure. And this also controls the sizes of the particles. If the size is not enough, can't go through the 50 mesh of the screen, so it will go back to the grinder to grind again. We will use the air wind transportation system. And here, all the black powder, it will recovery for the recovery rate of 99%. And then we will go into the air separator to separate the iron and separate the copper and the aluminium. This is the last step. The air gravity shows just the separator will just utilize the carbine of the airflow and the vibration of the raw materials So the larger copper of the particles will settle to the bottom, and the smaller aluminium the particles will suspend on the surface by the action of the flow. So in this link, the recovery rate of the copper and aluminium is about 98%. And this is the brief introduction about the working process. And here are the introduction of different equipment, what they use for. So if we can't see this PDF clearly, you can send the private message to us. Our sales manager will send you this catalog, or if you need the price list or any other like the quotation, the certificate, you can contact with our sales manager. You can add our WhatsApp directly, or you can leave your WhatsApp, your contact ways to us. Yeah, and our sales manager will contact with you immediately, give you your whatever you need, give you a detailed introduction about our equipment. And here is a brief introduction about what each equipment used for. Like the discharging step, we use the sodium chloride solution to discharge the batteries completely, and the shredder break the battery into small particles. The carbonization furnace to heat and to dry the raw materials more quickly. The gas and removal system is linked by the carbonization furnace, the carbonization drying machine, to purify the gas that we need to emission. And the dust removal system is the whole production. They have some dust to purify. So for the crushing step, we get the first crusher to crush the raw material to smaller than 10 millimeter, and then the first rotary screen to get 60% of the black mass. Then the magnetic separator remove the iron, line a vibrating screen to remove the diaphragm, the plastic diaphragm. And the second crusher gets smaller than 6 millimeter, and the second rotary screen get about 95% of the black mass. And the grinder, that is the third crushing machine. Then we use the audio vibrating screen and air separator to get the deep separation of the black mass and the copper and aluminium. And here are the equipment feature of our doings production line. You can see the first one. We adopt the advanced technology of crushing and separation system. After crush separately, then the copper, aluminium, and powder of positive and negative plate will be separately in separation system with high purity output. Second one is the mean technology of the combined crushing and separation system for the battery cycling. Achieves greater energy saving effects during the production process and get a high separation rate of copper, aluminium, and powder. So the standards that of the technical separation is here the first recovery of the metals more than 98%, and the content of metals in powder is just smaller than 1%. Here is the equipment and detailed technique. So some manufacturers also use the multiple liner screen. Just instead of the rotary screen, we have several rotary screen in our production line. We'll just compare with the lining vibrating screen of the black powder. The rotary screen have the characteristic of high handling capacity and high the sorting rate. So that is why we have this and why we have the high working efficiency. Then this is a 3D layout of the equipment. Can you see this clearly? I'm not sure if you can. Like the first is the belt conveyor to put it into the first double shaft shredder. Well, it's very small. And then this is the drying machine, the condensation furnace to dry them quickly. Then we'll come to the first crusher, rotary screen, and here the lining vibrating screen, crusher, rotary screen. And this is the air transportation system. Here, this is the cyclone, dust collector, and this 19-1 post dust collector. Here, also the purification system, the spring tower. Well, this is a 3D picture, more clear. And the equipment list. You can see more clearly about the certificate and the model, the power of each equipment. Like the first belt conveyor of 1.5 kilowatt, and then we come to the double shaft shredder. This is a preprocessed step, and the belt conveyor, first hammer crusher, wind conveyor. This link with the rotary screen is a wind conveyor for civil transportation, and the first rotary screen is 3 kilowatt of 6 meter, and the belt conveyor, magnetic separator to separate the iron inside our metals, liner vibrating screen to separate the diaphragm. It has 3 layers, and then the wind conveyor, the secondary hammer crusher, the same as the first one. Wind conveyor, second rotary screen of 3 kilowatts. This is 4 centimeter of the second step. And then wind conveyor, grinder, and this grinder have high power, 37 kilowatt, to grind the raw material to the granular shape. And then also the wind conveyor to link with the grinder and the ID vibrating screen. They have 3 layers. One is one is 120 mesh, one is 15 mesh of 2 layers to separate different materials. And in the lower layers, we will separate the black powder. In the middle layers, copper and aluminium. In the first layer is the materials that not reach the standards, which will go back to the grinder. So we put it wind conveyor, and then by the wind conveyor we will link with the air separator. The air separator, we will just separate the copper and the aluminium. The recovery rate can reach to 98%. And the post dust collector, this is for the whole production line, because we have some dust during our production, then we will use the post dust collector to collect them. All the production line, you can see they are all physical separation, physical crushing. So there are no more other pollution like the smoke or water pollution, chemical pollution. All we need to process is the dust. And then the collector of diaphragm is an optional device for 5.5 kilowatt. And here are the spare parts. Almost all the blade and the screen. Like in the crusher, we have 2 steps of the crusher. So the blade for the first crusher, the change period is 1 to 2 months, and the second crusher for nearly 1 month. And the screen, stainless steel wire stand that can use for nearly 3 months. Then the grinder, we have also the blade, can use nearly 2 months in this grinder. So in the process collector, we have the filtering bag. We don't need to clean it just more often. So there is a vein cleaning system. We can just clean it very clean, and don't need to change. Half of the year of the filtering bags we need to change. So just compare with other manufacturer, we can have a long service life of the filter bag or the post-dust collector. And the rotary screen and this screen inside also need to change for every 3 months. So the separation period is based on the normal optional conditions, just for reference. Like if you change or if you have the high production capacity, many raw materials, or need to just work many hours per day, so may just change more often. Here are some remarks. Most of our customers are concerned about this: the price term, payment term, installation, and delivery time. Almost of them are the after-sale service. Like the price term, FEO change the price, and the payment term, you can just for reference. Most clients, if you have some unique requirements, you can contact with our sales manager. And the delivery time for our whole production line, the building time almost 2 months, 45 to 60 days. Just all depends on your capacity and your certificates. And the installation, commission, and operation training. This is included in our after-sales service. Our engineer can come to your countries, help you to install, operate, and train your workers. Just have a good quality of production. And warranty. The warranty year is 1 year, except the spare part or the man-made damage. Here is some project cases of our lithium battery recycling equipment. And there is some video of this of the lithium battery recycling equipment, a kind of the production device. Now this is a rotary screen. Here is the crushing machine, the hammer blade crusher, the generator, and the belt conveyor. Here is the magnetic separator to separate the iron. It doesn't include the first rotary screen kind of equipment. Here is also a video of this, more clear to see the ID vibrating screen of 3 layers, and outlet of the black powder. So the prices of different products like the copper powder, the copper almost 60 to 70,000 each ton, and the aluminium powder almost 10 to 20,000. So the black powder, the most expensive one, for 110,000 each ton. Because some customers want to extract the lithium from the black powder, so the sale price is higher than the copper and the aluminium. Yeah, some brief introduction. Well, the market price was often just change, so the price data is just for reference. You can check on your website, your local website. If you need to get this production line, the common processing, the handling capacity is 500 kilogram per hour and 1 ton per hour. But if you need a smaller or larger capacity, you need to confirm with our engineer. It can be customized. This is some brief introduction of our company, our service. Well, if you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section. Or if you want to know more information about our capacity, our equipment, you can contact with our sales manager. That you can leave your contact ways to us. Then our sales manager will add your WhatsApp, email, and telephone to us, give you more catalog and more introduction. Okay, and here is the air transportation system, the silt transportation, air conveying, the wind conveying. Okay, and let's start from the very beginning to have another introduction of our lithium battery recycling equipment. Well, just as the development of technology, so the electrostatic, or the less kind of the products, the car have becoming more popular. So there are more and more lithium battery are scrapped and wasted. So if you need or are finding a project want to have, so you can learn more information about this lithium battery recycling equipment, because it's necessary to the disposal of the waste lithium battery. And just during this production, we can not only have the production environment, because the lithium battery contains some harmful substance like the heavy metals, organic, the solvents, or some other production that have the huge pollution of this environment. And also they have some valuable metals. So they have some sources like cobalt, nickel, lithium, and other metals like the copper, aluminium, so can retrieve the resources recycling. And there are different kinds of the lithium battery we can recycle. The most common one are the lithium battery are these two. And one is the NMC lithium battery, and the second is the LFP lithium battery. So they just include different materials of different kinds of the lithium battery. So they are just named by these positive materials, like they commonly include the lithium magnetic, lithium iron phosphate, and the ternary materials, and the cobalt or the magnesium. So this is the different lithium batteries, and that includes, for step, the positive, negative, and the electrolyte and diaphragm contained in the lithium battery. So to separate by the different classification of the physical the characteristic, it includes the power lithium battery, mobile lithium battery, plastic shell, soft aluminium shell of the lithium battery, and the positive, negative of the lithium battery. So the products we can get include four. First one is the copper powder. Second, lithium powder, and third one is the black powder. It includes the graphite and the phosphoric acid. So this is the products that we can get. And the copper, the price is almost 60 to 70,000 RMB, with nearly 10 or 20,000, and the black powder nearly 110,000 RMB. Here is the prices, and also in the black powder they have some lithium, so this is very value, and you can just extract them. And here is the working process. A brief introduction of how it works of the lithium battery. Wow, this picture. Okay, here it is. And the first one we get is the scrap lithium battery. So it needs to scrap to evaporate the electrolyte. This is the pre-process step. So it will just put the scrap lithium battery into the concentration of 8 to 15% of the sodium chloride solution to soak for 2 to 3 days. And then the negative and the positive terminals of the battery will just short-circuited and to get this discharge completely. And then it will go into the first shredder to shred them. This is also the pre-process step. The belt conveyor will transport the scrap lithium battery to double shaft shredder to process. And after processing, to get 3 to 5 centimeter of the particles. Then is the carbonation furnace. We use the electrostatic heating or gas heating. The temperature in the furnace is 100 to 450 degrees. So electrolyte in the battery will just completely volatilize to facilitate the subsequent harmless treatment. Well, just a smaller capacity like smaller than 500 kilogram each hour, or a smaller like 100 or 200 per hour, so it's not necessary to get the carbonation furnace. But if you have a large capacity, more than 1 ton or 2 ton each hour, so we suggest that you can have this for more quickly to dry your materials. If you have this drying machine, that we need this purification system because we have some dust, some smoke that need to process and reach to the standard to release. So they have the spraying tower, the activate carbon system, and UV photo-oxygen system to purify. So we have different other program for you, different plan for you to reach to different standards of your workshop. And this is for our just optional device. And then it's the first crusher, and the material will come to the hammer blade crusher to crush in the first time. And this is kind of impact crusher by the high speed rotation of the hammer blades. And so this to crush the raw material to 10 millimeter, just 1 centimeter. And this is the first crusher. And then we come to the second, is the first rotary screen. It is linked the crushing machine, and the material will just use the sealed vein transfer system to send the material into rotary screen. it have the 120 mesh of the screen surface rolling the rolling the materials, so that the qualified material, the black powder, will discharge through the screen holes. And the black powder in this step is we can recovery rate of 80 to 70%. Sorry, 60 to 70%. This is the first we can recycle kind of the black powder. And then this is a magnetic separator to separate the iron because it's much more cheaper than the copper and aluminium and it's harmful to the blade. So we use the magnetic separator to separate them. And then this is the liner vibrating screen. It uses the vibration of screening. Different products will controlled or multi-layer screen and discharge from their respective outlets. Then the two layer of the screen mesh, one is 2 millimeter and the one is 100 mesh. The stainless steel wire mesh, and the top layer of the screen is the diaphragm. We can collect 98% of the diaphragm in this step. And the second layer is copper, aluminium, and black powder. The bottom layer is the black powder. This is the 3 layers. And then the second crusher, also the hammer blade crusher by the impact crushing to crush the particles under 6 millimeter. Then the material will just enter the second rotary screen for further screening the black powder. While the second stage is a 4 meters long and has a 140 mesh of the screen. And at this point, the 10% of the black powder is screened out. And by this step, some effect of the primary device, the recovery rate is 95%. And then the grinder is grind raw material, mostly the copper and aluminium, as a granular shape. This is to refining the particles. Then the ID vibrating screen. The grinder is connected with the ID vibrating screen. The rotary vibrating sieve is equipped with a 50 mesh screen in the upper layer and the 120 mesh in the lower layers. So in a small amount of the black powder come out of the lower layer of the rotary screen sieve, and the middle layer of the material is the copper aluminium mixture into the next layer for the separation. So this machine is high quality and high efficiency, and in this step of the summary effect, and all the black powder can be collected. The recovery rate can just more than 99%. And then this is a separator of the iron and copper. This is the principle of the wind airflow and the vibration friction of the materials. So the larger copper particles will settle in the bottom, and smaller aluminium particles will suspend on the surface of the material layer. So the separation rate can reach to 98% by this air separator. And this is the collecting system just linked with all the device, the cyclone dust collector and the pulse dust collector. The cyclone dust collector is to collect the larger dust, and the pulse dust collector is to collect the small dust. And this is the different device that we have. And here is a brief introduction. You can see this word. Any questions you have, you can leave in the comment section. Our sales manager are waiting for you, or you can send your information to us. Tell us your WhatsApp, email, then our sales manager can add you and give you our catalog. Thank you for watching today. Any questions, you can just leave in the comment section. Here are some brief introduction of our lithium battery device. And the first is discharge. As you put it into 6 to 15 sodium chloride solution to have the safety process. And then the shredder is to break the battery into small particles, carbonation furnace, the heat to 100 to 400 degree, to evaporate the electrolyte and also the chloride solution. Then this is the purification system. All we are environmental friendly, so we have the environmental friendly device. And then the first crusher to crush the materials to 10 millimeter, second one to crush them to 120 mesh, and magnetic separator to remove the iron, lightning vibrating screen. It is to remove the diaphragm, or to remove kind of the black mass. The first crusher and first rotary screen for deep crushing, deep separation of the materials and the black mass. The grinder is a third processing step to grind the materials, mainly copper and aluminium, to granulars. And about our equipment features. First, adopt advanced technology of crushing and separation system. So after crush separately, then copper, aluminium, and powder of positive and negative plate will be separated in a separation system with high purity output. And mainly technique is applied to crushing and separation system for battery cycling, achieve greater energy saving effects during the production process and high separation rate of the materials. So we will have automatic work. We have the PLC system, so it's much more labor saving. Don't need many workers of all production line. We only need 1 or 2 workers to control the whole production. Here is the recovery of the metals, 98%, and the powder recovery rate, 98, diaphragm, 98, and the content of the metals in the powder we can control smaller than 1%. This is equipment list for 500 kilogram each hour for you to reference. Well, the certificate depends on your requirements. If you need a high efficiency, you can get more the separation rate, separation device. This is for certificate. You can see what equipment that we have, except the device that we introduce. We also have some belt conveyor, wind conveyor, linked with different device. You can see the first, a belt conveyor, and then double shaft shredder. This is a power 15 kilowatts. We have 2 double shaft shredder, and then the belt conveyor will link with the double shaft shredder and the hammerhead crusher. This is a hammer blade crusher. It have the blade inside. And then the wind conveyor to transport the material to the first rotary screen with 3 kilowatt, and the belt conveyor, magnetic separator. This is a liner vibrating screen to separate the plastic diaphragm. Wind conveyor, secondary hammer crusher, wind conveyor, secondary rotary screen. The first rotary screen and the second is not kind of different. The first one is 120 mesh of the screen, and the second is 140 mesh. And also this is 6 millimeter. Where is it? Here. This is a 6 millimeter of the rotary screen, and this is the 4 millimeter. But the same of the power. Then the wind conveyor to transport the granular to the grinder. The grinder is 37 kilowatts to grind the raw material to the granular size or refining machine. And then we will use the air transportation system to transport them to the ID vibrating screen. Have 3 layers to control the sizes and separate the the black powder and the mixture copper and aluminium. Then the wind conveyor, air separator, post-dust collector, collecting for the diaphragm. This is kind of certificate of the 500 kilogram per hour. Well, if you want to know more information or some the unique certificate plan, depends on your capacity, your raw materials, you can contact with our sales manager. We will contact with you immediately, give you our WhatsApp, give you our contact ways. Then you can just directly contact with our engineer to give you the certificate. And the spare part list here shows this kind of spare parts. Most of them are the blade, the screw, and the filter bag. The changing period is also shown in this table, just for reference, because the working efficiency capacity is not the same. This is also a reference table for 500 kilogram per hour. You can see the crusher and the grinder. Most of the spare parts are the blade, almost changed 2 hours to 2 months, and also the screw can work nearly 3 months. The filtering bag we can use for half of the year, because we have the wind cleaning system. Don't need to change them or get out the filter bag from the post-dust collector to clean them. It's very convenient to clean them. And the rotary screen and the screen inside is 3 mounts we can use just for reference. And also here are some remarks, some after sales service or some price remark for reference. Like most of you, we are concerned about the delivery time, 45 to 60 days, and installation, commission, and operation training is also included in our after sales service. Our engineer can go to your workshop, help you to install, to operate the equipment, and train your workers. This is the after-sales service for you. And warranty. The warranty period is 1 year, except the wearing parts or the man-made damage. Here are some pictures of our project cases. And this is more clear prototype in our workshop. Here is what the air separator looks like. By the wind blowing and vibration to separate the copper and aluminium. This is the double shaft shredder, the pre-process. And then the first hammer crusher. Then by using the wind conveyor, the linked tube to transport the particles into the first rotary screen. Here is a PLC panel, PLC control panel, linked with all production line, also built in our factory, that have 100% just contact with your device. By using the sealed design, the wind conveyor, then this is the magnetic separator. Then we can go into the grinder, ID vibrating screen, and this is also the wind conveyor. then to put it into the the air separation system. Here is a post-dust collector, a purification system. This is a prototype in our live show. If you want to visit, you can also contact with our sales manager. We are the Chinese manufacturer that have the lithium battery recycling equipment, solar panel recycling equipment, and the carbonization furnace. Well, if you want to have a production business, you can contact with us. We are the manufacturer. We have our own workshop. It's in Jiaozuo City, Henan Province, China. And our company is located at Zhengzhou City, Henan Province. You can contact with our sales manager if you need to visit our workshop, or if you want to visit our project cases. It's more than 120 countries. We have different project cases. Except the lithium battery, we also have solar panel recycling project case, a carbonization furnace to process biomass, and also we have the pyrolysis system to process with tire, with plastic, oil sludge. This is our products. If you want to get equipment, we suggest that you can search for the manufacturer that can know more information about the technique. Okay, this is today's live show. If you have any questions, you can comment in the comment section. Or if there are no more questions, it's time to say goodbye. We are doing rope, doing holdings, and we are manufacturer, one of the subsidiary of doing holdings. We have 7 subsidiary. Except this, in this live show, we also have some other subsidiary to process different products. And also we have our subsidiary in Nigeria, a branch company in Nigeria, because we have many customers in Africa. Also factories in there. If you are in factory and want to get this business, it's more convenient to contact with our sales manager. Okay, and this is today's live show, today's shareings. Thank you for watching today. Any questions, you can contact with our sales manager. Thank you for watching today. Have a nice day. Goodbye.